number you have dialed is not available at present. Please leave your message after the beep.
Yeah, trendsetter. Whoa, league of my own, it don't get better. No, read what I wrote, I'm a bestseller. Yeah, reach for my goals, hit it dead center. Hit it dead center. Bullseye, hit it the most, there's no misses. Something like fish in a barrel, it's no different.
So you guys seen the title of this video and seen the thumbnail of these two four-wheelers, and you're curious to what in the world am I talking about building a lower budget four-wheeler. So what we're talking about in this build series that we're doing is we're comparing the lower trim level platform from Can-Am. And this is what I'm talking about. So Can-Am has put these two four-wheelers to be the most affordable Outlanders on the market. And this is a 500 base and that is a 700 XMR. You can find all the price differences and what you get with them on canam.com. I really don't want to go into too much detail on here just because we're going to tell you about this build series that we're doing with this 500. And the main reason why we're doing it, I bought this one brand new off the showroom floor and so did he. But he didn't want to spend the extra $3,000 to $3,500 more dollars to get the XMR. So we're going to see how budget friendly we can be on this to make it compete with a 700 XMR. So this four-wheeler hasn't exactly been babied its life. It's been beaten, abused, it's been used as a hunting rig, and now it's been converted into a mud four-wheeler. They gotta do some clutch work on it because the factory snorkel only comes up to here, and he inhaled a bunch of water when we went riding at a mud park, and it's got 1,000 miles on it, and it's never been really maintenance. So we're getting a tear into this thing, and then, like I said, we're going to compare it to the 700. So this is my personal 700, and we kind of started a build series on it. Like we started doing the red accents, mud banded accessories, a whiskey bent exhaust tip. That's really about all that we've done to this thing so far. We've got a set of EFX Moto Slayers coming for it. I don't know if I'm going to do them in 28s or 30s. And I want to see how the 30s will actually perform on the 700. Compared to the 28s that we're putting on the 500. We're putting a set of 28-inch ITP Mega Mayhems on some 650 XMR stocks that I've got laying around. I'm just waiting on them to get back from powder. And we're going to see how much of a power loss that we lose with the 500 compared to a 700 on 30s. This one makes 41 horsepower. That one makes 52 if I'm correct. So enough talking about them. Let me slap the camera on and we'll take one for a ride. So the first one I think I'm going to start off with is the 500 here. And this thing, granted, like I said, the bearing is leaving the chat. So and this one's got the baffle out of it. So it will be a little louder. And we're going to be easy on it just because I want it to warm up for a minute. But this thing's been a very solid four-wheeler. He's had this thing for like 2 years. And then I finally got my 700. But it's different riding one with power steering than with not. For the price difference, we're gonna see what we can do because we got about a $3,500 to $4,500 price gouge, so that gives us about $4,000 to throw at a 500. Although we've already spent $450 on the whole XMR snorkel kit, and we've spent, I want to say, about $650 on wheels and tires. That doesn't include the powder. But the ride quality between the two are, you know, they're relatively similar. It's just the power delivery is insanely different. And I got to be careful because I do not have a seal on the belt box right now because we've done tore it all apart. Made sure it wasn't the belt that was giving us issues. Well, you can really hear that belt now through that intake. So I feel like on this 500, I feel like the power behind this thing is just not there with the tuning. I think that's all it is because they're both the same CC motors. Not having power steering is really not that bad. Like it's plenty doable. This thing sounds so cool without the baffle in it. I don't know if it's spinning or digging. I'm gonna throw her in four-wheel drive. So the only thing we've actually replaced on this thing out of the entire time we've owned it is an axle. We have put an Amazon niche axle in this thing, and it's been holding up for the past 4 or 5 rides, and we have beat the snot out of this thing. I don't know if it's I guarantee you that's what it is. Yeah, that's it. Because now I'm back in two-wheel. Yeah, I just feel like the 700's got a lot more oomph behind it. I mean, that's wide open. So now we're gonna hop on the 700. I've been riding this thing around for a minute, so it shouldn't be cold. Now granted, this is with the whiskey bent exhaust tip. That one is just uncorked, so it's straight blow through. I can already tell the difference in power steering. Power steering is night and day difference. I take back what I said earlier. Power steering is way better. Make sure I'm out of four-wheel drive and I ain't got diff lock on. Now this thing, I already feel like it's 1,000 times smoother on the trails than that 500. So I feel like comfortability on this thing is just night and day difference. Which is, I don't know the whole difference in the suspension. I feel like it's the same. That's all, that's just spinning. Yeah, you cannot hold this thing open at all. Like, it's just... Oh God! I came into that way too hot. I was trying to make the turn and it just would not make the turn. Because all this thing is doing. Woo! Prime example right there. Let's see the damage we done. Did I break the other side of it? No, we good. We good. So right there is prime example on these tires. Now all that's doing is spinning. There's nothing else behind it. If you put this thing in four-wheel drive, dude, it'll cook. We talked about it one day for doing a future video. We're talking about putting the 25 stalks that came on the 500 on this thing to figure out how much more effective it is. All right, so we're gonna lock her in four-wheel this time. This thing ought to pull. Yeah! Woo! Woo! This is insane. Woo! Oh my gosh, this thing's awesome. This thing's absolutely nutty. And that whiskey bent exhaust tip, man, a lot of people, they go out and they buy these HMFs or the RJWC, or, I mean, granted, they sound better and I like promoting good companies, but for $100, get you a stainless 2-inch exhaust tip with a shield, like the mesh cover to prevent mud from going in it. We're gonna do a four-wheel drive launch here. Now I turn around and I'm gonna do a two-wheel drive launch. We're gonna launch from the same spot that we launched the in four-wheel drive, and you can see our marks where all four tires dug. I think we were right at like 25, 30 at that tree. So, ready? Go! I mean, it's not bad, but it just doesn't have that oomph. Yeah, you can't hold this thing nowhere near as wide open as you can with the 500. So there's a real quick kind of comparison from a 500 base to a 700 XMR, just power related. But as you can see, those tires have got to go compared to these, because these things seem like they just hook and go. I couldn't tell just because how soft the ground is due to the rain. That's just a quick comparison. But the testing series is not over yet. We still got a bunch of work to do to either one of them. Let me know in the comment sections what all we need to do to the 500 to compare it to the 700 XMR. I know we've talked about a radiator relocate, but the radiator relocate, we're not going to go from Can-Am just because the price of it. We're going to probably do like a wild boar, or if anyone has a link to a radiator kit for a Gen 3, or even if a Gen 2 will fit, we'll try it out. In the next video, we should have this one fixed, and we should have it running, and we'll be on a ride. So, until then, tune into the next video.
The most vision, trendsetter told them before, but they don't listen.